Alrighty, so today we are here in the high tunnel again, and hopefully by the end of this video, we'll have this high tunnel tilled again. Yeah, that's a big rock. Ugh, let's get that one out of there. Look at the size of that one. How did I miss that one before? I swear they grow in here. Anyway, so we'll get the high tunnel tilled again because we got a few weeds popping back up in here. And then I'm also needing to get the drip tape set up in here as well, because this year we're going to be running off from that. That way I don't have to go around and water everything by hand. So that'll make that a whole lot easier, a whole lot more efficient. And then, I don't know, we may work on getting a little bit of stuff planted out here as well. I've got a few little odds and ends of plant starts and leafy greens and stuff like that that could go in here already. We might work on getting some of those out here as well, but at the very least, get it tilled, get the drip tape set up and ready to go. This is what our header tube, feeder tube, whatever you call it, is going to hook to. So this thing here is a filter. This gets any crud out of there. I mean, it could even just be little bits of like mineral buildup or something that's gotten in your water lines. That way it gets filtered out here, and that doesn't get into your drip tape and clog your drip tape up. So that's what this is for. This thing is a pressure reducer. It takes it down to 15 psi. Because it's drip tape, I mean, it's not really designed to have high pressure going through it. So you got your pressure reducer, and then this thing here just takes it from your threaded to a kind of push-on fitting for your header to go onto here, and then this kind of screws down on top of that to hold that in place. I have not put thread tape on any of this stuff yet, so gotta get that done first, and then we can start getting this stuff laid out. Eventually, I'll probably run a water line in here and have a hydrant like right here in the corner. That way I don't have to run the hose in through here. But for now, the closest hydrant is just about 25 yards that way. Actually, probably not even that far. Over by the cattle water there, and for now, it'll work just fine. All right, so this is the header tube, your feeder tube. It's a one inch, I believe, tube. So this will just run from that right along this end. Probably have it just about a foot from the end here. And then from here, actually you can see one of these already put in. These little fittings fit into here, and then the drip tape connects into this, and that's what runs the length of the high tunnel. Yeah. Almost hit you guys. Well, I guess I kind of did hit you guys there. I think I'm going to need a ground staple or something to hold this end down. What I'm going to try doing is using a hose clamp like that to pinch this off, keep it from leaking. Not sure if that'll do the trick or not. Alright, I cut a few little pieces of high tensile wire here, and just gonna bend those over like that, make a couple little ground staples, and hopefully that'll work to hold this header tube down and in place so it doesn't try coiling up on me. Now, of course, since this is nice and freshly tilled soil, these may not really stick in all that well, but it'll be something. Alright, so I think we're ready to start rolling out some of this drip tape. First, we need to get the valve put into our main line here, and we got a smaller side and a larger side. The larger side is what's going to fit into the drip tape. The smaller side, this is what goes into our header line. This little thing right here is a punch that you kind of push into your main line there, and you kind of wiggle it in. It cuts your hole into your main line so you don't go in too deep. Like if you were using a drill, it'd be really easy to go all the way through. But this, since it only goes in this far, you just kind of cut a little hole in there, then you pop this side in and tighten that down, and then you can hook your drip line on this side and then stretch it out the length of the high tunnel. You are helping so much. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Alright, off you go. Move it. Off. There we go. Put it right out there. There we go. And our little plug of plastic is in there. Pop that right out of there. Push that in. There we go. Like that. Tighten this down. Alright. This side's got a reverse thread on it. So one thing is very, very clear, that whoever had the absolutely genius idea to put this drip tape on a spool that doesn't have sides that come up all the way has obviously never had to try rolling this stuff out before. This is absolutely terrible. If you had sides that came up on here, your drip tape wouldn't be able to fall off the sides, and it would hold it up in place and you could just roll this right out. But without having on there, if you get a little bit of looseness in it, it just kind of, well, you can see it all just falls off the side, and you can't stand and roll it out. You got to put it on the ground so that it's got something to pull, and even then it's still trying to get bound up around the rod that it's rolling off of. Oh man, this is not very well thought out. Alright, so once you make it down to the end, of course, we gotta cut it and plug this end of it as well. And what I saw someone else do, and I thought it seemed like a pretty good idea, is you take a little section of your tubing, cut it off, and you fold the end of this over, fold that over kind of in half the other way, and then take this little section of tubing and jam that over the end. And theoretically, if I haven't been led astray here, that should crimp this in and keep any water from coming out there, just like that. Alright, well, I'm going to see about trying to get some stuff planted over here. This stuff really should have gotten out before now. It just, it shouldn't have been sitting under the grow lights the way they were for as long as it was, but yeah, that's just the way it goes sometimes. Well, let's see here. They're so tangled together. Getting like one plug out at a time is going to be interesting. Obviously, I know exactly what I'm doing here. Not sure how many of these are actually going to transplant. It's a little rough.